In 2 days, I turned 27 years old. I think the number 27 has held a weird amount of significance to me ever since one late, cold December night in my friend Nick's garage.
Knowledge.
He told me about the infamous 27 Club while we were listening to the Doors. I'm not sure really how the conversation got started, but it was probably somewhere along the lines of romanticizing Jim Morrison's poetic young death from severe alcoholism and drug addiction. But I think at the time I was probably like 17 or 18, and I remember thinking, how fucking cool would it be to die young and famous, and at that age you get to join the ever so prestigious club of the 27 Club, and to join the other amazing artists that were cut down by death, arguably in the best points of their career. Ever since that conversation that night in the middle of another cold Illinois winter, I would always remember. We were sitting in front of one solitary space heater, seated in the center of a laughably large garage and passing a bottle of rum back and forth while we were sucking down American spirits and being completely unaware of what life would bring to me. And even if I was somehow to be warned by the cosmic wisp through a fabric of time tailored especially just to warn me of the universe's future misgivings towards me, I most likely still wouldn't even be concerned about my next meal in the slightest, or even when my next shower might be. And let me reiterate, at the time I was homeless and estranged from my family, and I was couch surfing and staying wherever and with whoever might open their door to me. I had jobs, but those usually wouldn't last very long, and not because of what you might think. My work ethic was good, but mostly because of my lack of reliable housing and transportation. If I was to sleep somewhere most of the time, it would be at the end of a party crashing on some dude named Todd's couch and promising that in return I would clean up and leave the next day before 8 a.m. But I'm sure you and I both know that I never cleaned up, and it was more of a party and dash type of situation. It's kind of strange to me how with age comes worry and anxiety. In my teenage years, I was never worried or anxious about anything, but as I grow older, I find myself tripping over my own feet and worrying about the distant and near future even. And you probably don't even need me to remind you of that. I guess everybody kind of experiences anxiety as we grow older, but for me, I actually was diagnosed with anxiety and had to take medication for it for a while. And in fact, I still do, but that's mixed in with the other concoction of crazy pills I have to take every day to keep myself regulated. I suppose the reason I was and still am kind of infatuated with the 27 Club is because I didn't really expect to be here this long. I can earnestly say that I didn't really plan on making it to 21. Actually, shortly after my 20th birthday, I went to go hang out with a girl I happened to be frequenting at the time, and she told me about some bet a few of my so-called quote-unquote friends had made at the time. It was something along the lines of, oh, Justin won't make it to be 21, he's gonna die, blah blah blah. I sure as shit proved them wrong, I guess. My will to live at that time kind of being pure spite, or maybe it's pure sprite. Either or, I'm not sure. I sit here typing this story out on my notepad app on my shiny new iPhone 13. I try to come to terms, or at least cope with the enormous amount of survivor's guilt I've been feeling in this past year. Not to be a huge not to be a huge Debbie Downer here, but I lost a very close friend of mine in June of 2021, and ever since I can never help but think, why me? Like, that's not even mentioning all the other people I held close to me that have passed away, but this one hurt. This one really hurt the most, so I just keep asking, why me? Why do I get to live? I mean, My question makes perfect sense from a logical standpoint. I've been gambling with my life for almost a decade now and fighting a constant battle with on again, off again opiate addiction, almost to be compared to an extremely toxic relationship if I'm being honest. And that's not even mentioning the multiple suicide attempts I've had throughout the years that thankfully were swatted into the garbage either by sheer dumb luck or legitimate divine intervention. So, why not me? Why do I get to live after gambling with my life and not the countless others who were seemingly taken too soon and for no apparent reason? What about the little kids that develop an incurable and inoperable disease? Are they exempt, or are they chose to be killed by God? What's the point? When just another junkie dies, nobody looks up to the sky shaking their fists screaming, "Why, God? Why have you taken him?" We all know. But when a little kid passes away or somebody's aunt dies from breast cancer, everyone, whether they like to admit it or not, questions God's intentions, wondering sometimes if the cosmic plan for us all is to just suffer at the feet of God's demented sense of humor. This was really all supposed to be about the 27 Club, but I suppose me saying I got a little off track would be an understatement. Maybe the reason I was so deep into the thought of dying at 27 was because I thought I'd be able to join the club, since I would of course be famous by then, which obviously didn't happen. Maybe at the end of the day it's just ego. I wanted to be somebody important in the grand minuscule scheme of things. That sentiment has not changed since. I have an overwhelming urge to just carve my name into the earth and scream into the cosmos, showing anybody who would look and see I was here, I existed. Sometimes I wonder if we all have that thought at one point in our lives or another, but maybe I'm the only one. For the longest time, I wanted to be famous just by existing, thinking one day someone's just gonna hand me a bunch of money in a TV show, not realizing that you have to put in work to achieve your goals and your dreams. But I can promise myself and the world one thing: I won't stop trying. Anyways, thanks for checking out this video. This one was a deep one, but anyways, I needed to get a lot off my chest, and if you're new here, welcome back. If you're not, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. It helps a lot, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.